everybody. It's Mrs. Kerwin and Zelda, and we're going to be reading the first chapter of Holes for this week's First Chapter Friday. Holes is, in my library, it's considered humor. It's in the humor section, but it's also got some mystery elements to it, and it's one of my all-time favorite books. If you are familiar with it already, you may have seen it as a movie, but the book, of course, is always way better. So I'm going to get started. Here we go. Chapter 1, Holes. There is no lake at Camp Green Lake. There was once a very large lake here, the largest lake in Texas. That was over 100 years ago. Now it's just a dry, flat wasteland. There used to be a town of Green Lake as well. The town shriveled and dried up along with the lake and the people who lived there. During the summer, the daytime temperatures hovers around 95 degrees in the shade, if you could find any shade. There's not much shade in a big dry lake. The only trees are 2 old oaks on the eastern edge of the lake. A hammock is stretched between the 2 trees, and a log cabin stands behind that. The campers are forbidden to lie in the hammock. It belongs to the warden. The warden owns the shade. Out on the lake, rattlesnakes and scorpions find shade under rocks and in holes dug by the campers. Here's a good rule to remember about rattlesnakes and scorpions. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you, usually. Being bitten by a scorpion or even a rattlesnake is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You won't die, usually. Sometimes a camper will try to be bitten by a scorpion or even a small rattlesnake. Then he will get to spend a day or 2 recovering in his tent instead of having to dig a hole out on the lake. But you do not want to be bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. You will die a slow and painful death. Always. If you're getting bitten by a yellow-spotted lizard, you might as well go into the shade of the oak trees and lie in the hammock. There's nothing anyone can do for you anymore. And that's it. Very short chapter. If you're interested in reading more of this book, I totally highly recommend it. You can look down below this post on my Google Classroom, and there'll be some links for you to find it as an ebook or an audiobook. Okay? So thank you so much for listening, and keep reading, right? See you later.